Hello and welcome to this GDSLAB video guide 5.4.3, running a dynamic cyclic HCA. This test allows for dynamic control of various forces and pressures on a hollow cylinder specimen. The hollow cylinder setup simulates real-world conditions more accurately than standard tests by combining vertical, torsional and pressure forces. The dynamic aspect of this test involves cyclic loading, which means the forces are applied in a repeated pattern, simulating real-world dynamic loads, such as those experienced during earthquakes or heavy machinery operation. So select dynamic cyclic loading from the test module list, and then you'll see lots of different set blocks. Now the first one, you've got a vertical axis which controls the axial displacement and load. Then you've got rotational axis which controls the rotational angle and torque. Then you've got the cell pressure axis which controls the external cell pressure and volume. Then you've got inner cell pressure axis which controls the internal cell pressure and volume. Then you've got the back pressure axis which controls the back pressure. And the last set block that we have is a dynamic control, which for more advanced systems you can dynamically cycle the cell pressure and inner cell pressure in addition to the vertical and rotational axes. You also have your error conditions where you have dynamic cyclic strain limits and progressive strain limits, which are similar used in triaxial tests, but they focus on the vertical axes. You also have the pore pressure build-up limit, which ensures that the test stops if the pore pressure becomes too high, similar to safety limits and in triaxial testing. So let's set all the values. So for the axial displacement, I'm going to have it as use initial value because I've already got it at 0.5. And then my amplitude is going to be 0.25 with a phase angle of 0. Then my rotational angle will be 5 on the datum, and then my amplitude will be 2 with a phase angle of 0. Then my cell pressure will use initial value as well because it is currently at 100 and I want that to stay at constant for the mode. And then internal cell pressure I want at 100 and I want that to stay at constant. And then I want my back pressure at 80 because it's at current and I want it to halt. So just because it is at current already. Then for my dynamic control I want a frequency of 1 with total cycles of 20 and my points per cycle will be 100. Okay, those are all the values I'm using, so let's go ahead and start the test. So unfortunately I don't have the right equipment to show exactly what you would usually show, but this will be an example. You should have some data that would resemble something like this. This is a separate test that I've done before where I've got similar data showing. So yeah, something should resemble something like this. And yeah, anyway, that is the end of the test. So thank you very much for listening and watching. This has been how to run a dynamic cyclic HCA. Thank you.